Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And welcome to my video guide for Emperor's event, called the Dastardly Dominus. I hope I pronounced that right. And of course, this is going to be on the Chaos difficulty. So without further ado, let's start this video. Now, as always, we'll start this off with the weaknesses, resistances, elements that the boss can absorb, and their abilities. And this time, we are going to be fighting the FERRUM Scorpion. It does not have any weaknesses nor any resistances, and it cannot absorb any elements. As for its abilities, it has Strong Acid, which is a range brave attack, Foot Stamp, which is a melee HP attack, FERRUM Laser, which recovers itself from the break status and increasing its brave, and will do a group magic HP attack. Tail Laser, which is a melee brave attack that can also inflict poison debuff. Wave Shot, which is a group range brave attack that also inflicts a speed down debuff. And Armor String, which also has a plus variant. This is a melee brave attack with a higher turn rate when inflicting break or attacking a target inflicted with break, and the plus variant will have an HP attack attached to it as well. Next is Unload, which is a range brave attack which also inflicts a defense down debuff. Night Burst, which is a magic brave attack that also grants itself an attack up and a defense up to itself. Next up, it has Brave Charge, which basically increases its brave and will have an instant turn rate and will use the FERRUM Laser next turn. Next is Tail Raise, which raises its attack and its max brave, but it lowers its defense. Tail Lower will cancel the attack up and the max brave up and will remove the lower defense from Tail Raise. Next, it will have a few attacks, which one is Glower Fixed This Way, which basically increases its turn rate. Next is Exuding an Aggressive Aura, which raises all its stats. And then the next one is Exuding a Belligerent Aura, and this will further raise its stats. It also has immunity to the poison debuff. Okay, so now that we know the weaknesses, resistances, elements that the boss can absorb, and of course its abilities, it's time to take a look at some general tips and guide. The first one is to save about 70% of your abilities for the last boss. Now, even though this is a 3-wave fight, the bosses actually have a high amount of HP, and I would highly recommend saving about 70% of your abilities. You can probably get away with 60% if you really want to just burn down the bosses, especially in the second wave, and of course going to be going into the third wave. It's all up to you. However, if you do want to be saved, 70% I think is the mark that you should aim for. The next one is to bring in the boosted characters such as Emperor Rosa and FERRUM. Now, if you don't have any of these characters maxed out, there are other characters that you can consider, such as Ultimisia, Warrior of Light, Squall, Locke, Ramza, Balthier, Ferris, Lisette, Kryle, Adrius, Garland, Lise, Tifa, Sarah, Vanille, Setzer, Kruja, Bosch, Kimari, or of course Cloud. Of course, basically all the EX Plus character are all available, seeing as the boss doesn't have any weaknesses nor it has any resistances or elements that it can absorb. So actually any character that you feel like is chaos viable in your current team should be okay to bring. Now for the Healers Plus Brave Battery options, of course you got Charlotta, Parham, Rem, Katesith, Yuna, Lena, or Ishtola. Lena is still half decent. Unfortunately for her, her attack isn't that great. However, her initial Brave or Brave regen is actually still pretty viable. So there is a risk of using her, of course, but there are also perks, like you won't be afflicted with debuffs as long as you have her unique frame buff up. And of course, for the summon, you do have an option between Ifrit, Shiva, and Ramu. And again, I don't really like Leviathan's bonus, but you can use Leviathan if you prefer Leviathan as your summon. But for me personally, I do like Shiva the best, so I'm going with her. Now let's take a look at some general strategies that I noticed or implemented during my fight. The first one, let's talk about the friend support. I do highly recommend bringing Setzer or the Emperor for your friend support. Setzer is more of a defensive and Brave Battery option. Basically, when you see the boss having 2 turns, it's actually time to switch in Setzer and probably use that freeze debuff. Emperor is more of an offensive support, so if you like to burn down the boss, then I highly recommend bringing Emperor for your friend's support. The next one is to apply frame debuffs that have sap/poison like effects, basically like Ultimisia, Charlotta, and of course the one and only Sarah. So if you have one of these characters, I do highly recommend bringing them in. And of course, Faris to a certain extent is actually pretty good because her EX ability acts like Emperor's Trap. So whenever the boss will have a turn, as long as you have that unique icon above your Faris, then basically it will hit the boss for a couple of Brave hits, and of course will basically give you some Brave regen as well. Now the next one is to try and kill the bosses almost at the same time to avoid some enrage mechanics. I'm not 100% sure that their boss actually has a enrage mechanic, but from asking around, some people did say yes, there is an enrage mechanic. I just killed both of them because of Rosa's EX and her splash damage. I ended up killing the other one and didn't see if there was an actual enrage mechanics, but from what I can see, or at least from what people have said, there is some sort of enrage mechanic. The stats will further raise, and of course making it harder for you. However, you can kill them off one by one. I have done it, and I just didn't really look for the enrage mechanic text, so that's how I missed that one as well. So that was really like terrible of me not paying attention, but in any case, it is still possible to just kill one of them, and then you can concentrate on just the last one, and basically you can delay it, you can paralyze it, and move on and kill it. Now the next one is just to bring a healer. Just bring a healer. If it's a healer that can revive, all the better, but it will bring your score down. So just try not to die. As long as you have a decent healer, you should be fine for this fight. And of course, have a little bit of luck is always helpful. Okay guys, it's now time to take a look at some possible party compositions, and the first one is going to be the boosted team with Emperor, Rosa, and Furion, and of course I left out Gilgamesh because, let's be honest, he's completely useless at this point. With an Emperor support and Shiva 40 summon. The idea here is just to keep your raise up. Furion and Rosa are great Brave Battery for Emperor, so you can save some of his traps or his abilities, and you can just use his HP attack plus from time to time. And basically Emperor just do Emperor things like traps, more traps. It's a trap! Now the next team I have for you guys is Rosa, Ultimisia with Agrias with a Setzer support, and Shiva for the summon. This is the video that you guys are seeing. This is my team that I used to beat it blind. So Agrias for paralysis, Ultimisia again saving you those valuable turns. She's still pretty powerful. Even though Emperor is already here, she is still viable and she still works. Sets our friends to use freeze when the boss takes double turns, or you can use it just as a brave battery. Now the next team I have for you guys is Warrior of Light, Ferris, and Emperor with an Emperor support, and Shiva for the summon. Honestly, this is kind of an overkill team because Warrior of Light shield is still really good. So make sure you have shields up for everyone and you should be fine. And he can also heal a little bit, and hopefully you don't, die from the FERRUM laser. You should have enough time to heal yourself at least once or twice, and hopefully you don't take too much damage. Ferris and Emperor combo are really great. Just like I mentioned earlier, basically you are applying like double, triple, quadruple, and quintuple traps basically from this. I think it would be quadruple, right? Because Emperor has 3 traps, and if you add Ferris's EX, then that's quadruple traps. So forget I said quintuple, it's quadruple traps basically. It's a trap! And basically you have another Emperor as your friend support for more traps. It's a trap! Now the final team I have for you guys here is Agrius, Ultimisia, and Y'shtola. Again, Agrius for paralysis, Ultimisia is your main DPS, and again saving you those turn counts. Y'shtola for revives, brave battery, and of course that valuable delay if the boss has 2 turns. Basically, you can use Y'shtola to push it off, or you can switch out to Setzer to make sure you apply that freeze debuff. Alright guys, so we're finally at the end of this video, and of course, I'll give you guys my final thoughts on this fight. Now, in all honesty, I didn't have any problems with this fight at all. There are just a few glaring things that you need to look out for, especially when its tail is raised. You have to be careful, and you should be expecting a FERRUM laser later on. Of course, if it actually targets itself, you know that a brave charge is coming and another FERRUM laser is on the way. So as long as you keep this in mind, then you should be fine. You can expect a lot of things and you can prevent a lot of things. So paralysis, delaying, freezing, all these debuffs will actually give you an advantage on this fight. And of course, let's not forget, if you have those unique frame debuffs that can actually sap or poison away the brave count from the boss, it's actually going to help you survive those FERRUM lasers. Now, obviously, it will still hurt because they will still recover from their break, increasing their brave. However, as long as they don't have extra brave on top of that, then you should be able to survive those FERRUM lasers. And in my experience, of course, comparing this fight between Kimahri's event and of course Barrett's lost chapter, or Rosa's lost chapter I should say, I would say Rosa's lost chapter was a lot more dangerous than this one. I didn't feel like I was actually going to die on any particular point in the fight. So yeah, but that's just my own opinion, and of course you may have a different experience in the fight. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that, guys. So I'd say around the ballpark of Kimahri's event, maybe. That's where I'm gonna put the difficulty level for this fight. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Please remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. Clicking that subscribe button if you haven't already is going to help my little channel to grow, and of course leaving a like on this video is going to help spread this video around with the YouTube algorithm. We are aiming for 1,500 subscribers by the end of the month, so go ahead and help me reach that goal. We still have like 11 days, so hopefully we do get there. That is the goal for the month of January. And of course, make sure to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming. Leave down in the comments below which team you use as well. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.